What if a single artifact could whisper across millennia, bridging faith and history? What if behind the dunes and buried stones lies more than just legend? Maybe a footprint of truth waiting to be discovered. Today, we journey into this question. What archaeological evidence exists for Joseph in Egypt? Not to demand blind faith, but to invite reasoned faith, rooted in both scripture and the ruins. Let's dig in. One of the toughest questions skeptics ask is, where's the evidence? If Joseph rose from slave to power in Egypt, where is the inscription? Where is the palace? Where is the ring? The honest answer is, we don't currently have any definitive artifact that can be incontrovertibly attributed to Joseph. According to Logos, Biblical Archaeology Society states plainly, we do not know of any evidence for Joseph outside the Bible. Biblical Archaeology Society and Logos's Was Joseph in Egypt notes that while many details in the story align with Egyptian culture, there is no archaeological record that confirms Joseph's exploits. But absence of indisputable proof doesn't equal disproof. If we require a single artifact, we demand what even many ancient civilizations do not leave behind. Though we lack a Joseph's ring confirmed by provenance, the Joseph narrative is remarkably steeped in Egyptian realism. Over the last century, Egyptologists have noted that Genesis 37 through 50 contains many Egyptian names, titles, places, and customs that would be surprising for a later writer to fabricate, according to BibleArchaeology.org. For example, the phrase years of famine is actually an Egyptian idiom. The motif of cows and grain in Pharaoh's dream corresponds to Egyptian symbolism, the cow goddess Hathor. The notion of a chief of the cupbearer and palace mechanisms reflect known court practices. The correspondences don't prove Joseph existed, but they raise probability that the biblical author was drawing from real Egyptian cultural memory. You may have seen headlines that read, Joseph's ring found, or Egyptian seals bear biblical names. Some claim that archaeologists uncovered rings inscribed with the names like Jacob or Jacob that could be connected to Joseph, according to byfaith.org. Others report that fragments of a monumental statue at Avaris resemble a non-Egyptian ruler, according to Times of Israel. It is my belief that this ring may be the real signet of Joseph, but it is not necessarily needed to prove the existence of Joseph. Here's where we are exercising discernment. Many of these claims are speculative, lacking provenance or peer-reviewed documentation. Though this does not mean they are not credible claims, they simply are not widely accepted. The Answers in Genesis article, Joseph's Cash Stash, describes alleged coins claiming Joseph's name, but these are widely viewed as unverified. Even if these are truly tied to Joseph, we must err on the side of caution. The Biblical Archaeology Review warns that these stories often appear in popular media, not in academic journals, and must be treated skeptically. Apologetically reminds us. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. We must hold wonder and caution in balance. While we lack a direct Joseph artifact, there is circumstantial evidence that aligns with the biblical narrative's context. The city of Avaris is archaeologically attested as a Semitic capital during the Hyksos period. Located in the Nile Delta region, Goshen is often associated with. This lends plausibility to a Semitic presence in Egyptian governance. Mud brick silos and large granaries discovered at Avaris match societies managing famine relief, which resonates with Joseph's role of storing grain. According to the BAS library, execration text or inscribed figurines naming Semitic groups show Egyptian cognizance of Canaanite peoples in their sphere. These do not prove Joseph, but they show that the environment in which Joseph would have operated is archaeologically real. So where does this leave us? We stand between faith and evidence. We cannot demand a Rosetta Stone for every biblical narrative, but we do demand that our faith cohere with reality, not contradict it. J. Warner Wallace calls such coherence the fingerprint of God in Scripture. Multiple lines of internal consistency, ancient context, and theological unity. C.S. Lewis once said, "Christianity is a signpost. You follow the direction, not the letters." In other words, even if every artifact is not in our hand, the direction of the evidence points toward truth. The Christian faith is not a leap from a void, but a reasonable step into abundance, grounded in historical plausibility, fulfilled prophecy, and Christ's resurrection, which is attested. If you're watching this, maybe your faith has been battered. Maybe you've asked, where's the proof? Let me encourage you, absence of proof in one area is not the collapse of truth. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith doesn't require ignoring the real. It requires trusting beyond the seen. Yet, let us also walk with integrity. Don't oversell speculative claims. Use evidence as a tool, not a crutch. Let the biblical narrative breathe, and let the Spirit confirm what the text claims. We may be unsure whether we hold Joseph's ring in our hand, but the sand speaks. Not clear names, but a context that fits. We may not see the full mosaic, but the patterns emerge. Egyptian detail in Genesis, plausible Semitic governance in Avaris, and famine logistics in granaries. That's enough for a reasoned faith to stand. Christianity asks more than blind faith. It invites coherent, humble confidence. Let's continue to dig with brushes and Bibles together, honoring both truth and reverence. May God keep you and bless you.